Alright guys, welcome to the show. Let's get started. You're watching Crypto Corner with myself, OJ. I'm coming to you from Vietnam. Sorry, today is kind of a late one, but I quickly want to go through a few charts today. I'm going to do Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to look at some of the smaller caps like CUDOS and CQT. You've been asking me about this on my social media, so that's why I decided to go through these charts. Let's take a look first at the market. Let's do a quick recap of the market, because we see that the correction is still ongoing and it looks like we might actually jump into a proper downtrend from here. We'll see how it goes over the next few days. I'm going to go now into the charts and we're going to find out what am I seeing in there. But over the last 7 days, over the last week, Bitcoin has lost 5%. Ethereum has lost almost 5% and BNB as well. And then we have XRP, which is kind of sitting at around the same price. It's actually 2% up today, which is good for XRP. OKB, the token that was doing probably the best out of all of the top 10 in the last 2 months, is now 13% down. So it's making quite a correction, 7% today. Cardano is 1.5% only down today, but it's 9% down on the weekly. Dogecoin also 9, almost 10%. In fact, Matic, Polygon 7% on the weekly, pretty much the same price as yesterday. And Solana is almost 10% down on the weekly, just as well as Litecoin. So this is the quick market recap. Now let's go into the charts. Without further ado, let's look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's see what can we expect over the next few days or even weeks. Alright, starting first with Bitcoin daily chart. As you see, we're actually breaking here the 50th moving average on the daily, which is not great. The Silvergate fiasco is definitely playing a role here, created a lot of FUD, a lot of selling pressure, and it comes very soon after the FTX collapse, so definitely not good for us. Now, this support zone that we are currently in, that I drew last time, this is still holding us, and as far as this is holding, my expectation of a higher wave 5 is still not cancelled. But if we break below this support, if this support gives up over the next few days, then I will have to concur that wave 5 was just here, and then now we're making an ABC correction, because this looks like an impulsive wave here. Even though it's still just a drop, it could be a minor pullback on the way up, and we can still continue with the wave 5 going higher, as I was expecting, towards the 26, even 27,000. But as I said, this support right now really has to hold us, and we've been challenging it a few times over the last few days. So far, every time we're making wicks, we are breaking it, we're making wicks, but the bulls are not giving up. So if the bulls have the strength to keep this support level, to defend this support, it's gonna be good news. Otherwise, we are going lower. And the lower support is in the mid 21,000s. Actually, it's between 21,300 and 21,000. So this is really where we are heading towards, as it seems right now. The problem is we broke the 50th moving average on the daily, and this is bearish. As far as we are below this moving average, we are looking bearish, and I'm not really interested in trading it. Of course, it's good for accumulation, it's good for those who are looking to scoop it at lower prices, but right now it's not the time to accumulate, because it looks like we might actually lose this support, and if we lose this support, we are going lower, so these are not good prices for accumulation. So be prepared for that. Let's take a look at the weekly, the higher time frame, and as you know, on the weekly we printed this death cross some time ago. I reported on that. I actually pointed out, just as we printed this bearish cross, I pointed out and I said this death cross means that a pullback, a correction on the market is definitely coming. The correction is happening right now, as it seems. We haven't completed it. We haven't finished that correction. And in fact, what is worse is that the RSI, this is the stochastic RSI here, is still just started to go down. It's still in the overbought region, still has a lot of room to be going down before we turn this trend. So to me, this is looking more bearish than anything else. I mean, there is still a chance that we manage to hold this support level and we go and make another leg up. before we actually start doing another pullback, another deeper correction. But we might not have the strength with the Silvergate fiasco right now. We might not have that strength to do this kind of relief rally, and we might just continue going down and down over the next few weeks. At least the weekly here, the higher time frame, this is what I'm seeing, this is what it's showing us. So be prepared for that. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. And Ethereum, this is the daily. It was the better looking chart up until last time we looked at. That was the better looking chart, but now, as you see, we've actually broken key support here, the 0.618, the golden pocket, the golden Fibonacci ratio. We are also falling below the 50th moving average, and very soon it looks like the 9th is going to cross the 50th moving average on the downside, which is a further bearish signal. So be prepared for further continuation here of this downtrend, even though it's kind of going sideways right now, and we are in the oversold stochastic RSI, making this nice cross here. So in the shorter term, over the next few days, we might actually see a little bit of a bullish price action, but that might be very short-lived. Let's take a look at the weekly, the higher time frame, and we are breaking the 9th moving average, which is acting as a support. We are going towards the 0.786 Fibonacci ratio here, which is at 1544. So really, this is the target as it seems. If this support doesn't hold us, we do have another support here in the higher 1400 level. So this is the next stop if we break the support. This 9th moving average, a lot of the times this is acting as a support, as you can see. Usually we come and touch it and then we bounce from it. We did that as well last week, but this week it looks like we might actually break below it. So again, it will depend on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum is not going to be holding this support. So it's important to keep an eye on Bitcoin even when you're not trading Bitcoin. The stochastic RSI, same as Bitcoin, is still in the overbought region, just coming out of it, and we made this bearish cross very recently, so we're still playing out this bearish signal here. We still have more room to go downwards, and this is why I feel that we are going to break this support and we are going to be heading towards the 1500 and even the upper 1400 region. This support here, this is the next stop for Ethereum. Now, a couple of smaller altcoins that I was asked, a few guys were asking me on Twitter about CUDOS and should I sell, should I not? Guys, don't ask me for advice. I'm not supposed to be giving you advice. I can tell you what I'm seeing in the charts. I can tell you what is the most likely scenario and what makes sense to me. But I'm not going to tell you whether you should sell or buy, because that's not my place. I'm not a financial advisor, and every time I say this, none of this here is investment or financial advice. This is for educational purposes. I mean, you can take this information and do with it whatever you like, but don't send me messages on Twitter, should I buy, should I sell? Because I'm not the person to tell you that. Anyways, what I'm saying is that we broke from this triangle, and this is a very very predictable move. If you don't know about these patterns, this is a very standard pattern, and I have this ebook, PDF, free ebook by the way, called The Most Used Chart Patterns. So make sure that you grab the link from the description below. It's free. And this is one of those patterns that I discuss in there. It is a continuation pattern. And by continuation, what I mean is that we are going downwards. Usually we start to go upwards when we are actually printing this pattern here. And then we break below this pattern. So we continue the downtrend. So after this relief rally here, after the drop, relief rally, zigzagging for a few weeks, and after that break on the downside. Very predictable move. This is why I was talking about CUDOS going down and being able to scoop it on the lower, on the cheaper prices. So if you were holding your your cash, you might wait a little bit longer, because Bitcoin is supposed to be going down, and if Bitcoin does that, CUDOS is going to go down as well. So again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be buying right now. I'm also not saying you should be. I'm saying this is what's going to happen. You decide what you want to do. Let's look at CQT, because that's another token that I was discussing a lot on Twitter. Many times I was posting about it, and I was quite bullish on it during the last rally. But now that we are turning the trend, now that we are going into this deeper correction of the market, of course, CQT is also making a correction. It is holding quite well though. I must admit it's doing much better than most of the other coins. The 9th moving average is acting as a support, and as you see, we are not even close to it yet, but we are definitely going towards it. And we have broken here a few support levels that I drew last time. I was drawing these support levels as a possible scenario, and I thought that at least the 3rd level is going to hold us, but the Silvergate collapse is something that took us by surprise. So it is one of those black swan events that of course you couldn't predict, and of course the market is reacting, and this is now the result of it. So not great. The markets are printing what I'm seeing here as a bearish cross. They haven't printed it yet, but they're about to print it any day now. So as this happens, further downwards price action is to be expected. So I'm not bullish for the time being. I personally expect that we are going to be coming for this moving average, and once we get here, we're going to see if we have enough strength to hold it, or are we going to break below this level. Breaking below this moving average is going to be quite bearish for us. So you can see for how long this moving average has been the support, and we were quite far from it. Of course, every now and then we come to retest it. Last time we tested it, we broke very briefly, and then very quickly we got bought up. We were quite bullish, and we had quite a rally again. So if this time we come and we hold it, it means that we are still strong in the bullish sentiment, and we will continue going upwards from here. If we break below it, then we can look into a further deeper correction. Okay, and another one that I want to analyze for you here is LIDO, or LIDO, whichever way you say it, because this had quite a strong rally over the last month, I would say, and now, as you can see, it is correcting, and it's correcting heavily. I mean, there was this FUD about LIDO. I talked about this in my previous video. If you missed that one, make sure that you watch it. It was a rumor, so I'm not going to repeat everything. You know, you probably watched it, so you already know about it. 260 is the level where we were last time when I was talking about it, and we're still there. We're still holding it. We're going sideways right now, but the market is, the stochastic RSI is not looking great. I mean, we're still quite high here, very close to the overbought region. We dropped from the overbought region, but we're still very close to it. Now we are making this curve here, which is actually showing me that we are preparing here for another maybe short-term rally on the upside, which will enter us again into this overbought region. And once we get there, we're not going to be looking very bullish. But this is the 4-hour. Hold on, let me see the daily, because that's the more important one. I'm not really that interested in the shorter time frames right now. Here we see that we are holding the 50th moving average, which is important. This is the exponential moving average. I actually always trade with these two moving averages on the daily, and on most of the time frames they work, but on the daily they are very indicative. So 9th moving average, 50th moving average. If we are above the 50th moving average, we're looking good, especially when we go above the 9th, because the 9th is then acting as a support. Now that we broke the 9th moving average, we are at the danger of breaking the 50th as well. And if that is to happen, we are looking bearish. And once we break the 50th moving average, I'm exiting my trades. I'm selling. I'm not interested in holding this coin when we are below the 50th moving average. Sometimes we are below this 50th moving average very briefly, but a lot of the times it's actually taking quite a lengthy period to gain enough strength to come above it. So as you see here, we printed this bearish cross of the two moving averages. We broke below the 50th moving average and the 9th, of course, and for quite some time we were trading below them. We made an attempt to climb above them, we got rejected, and we continued. So this here is from September all the way until December. We're talking here 3 months of bearish price action once we broke below the 50th moving average. So if we do it again, we might not take 3 months, it might be for 3 weeks, or it might be for a month, or it might be for 3 months again, or 6 months even. So if we are breaking the 50th moving average, I'm exiting. I'm not going to be interested in holding this trade. And I did scoop at around 260. So I'm prepared to actually sell at a bit of a loss. I will wait for us to see if we will be breaking this moving average, which means going below 250. So I'm prepared to take that loss. It's going to be a small loss compared to the price that we will go to if we break this support. And I'm expecting that if we break this support, we will be going to below 2, maybe, or at least we will be going towards the $2 price, which is, kind of a support right now. We've printed this support and we've been holding this support a few times. So most likely, if we are coming all the way down, this 193, which is very close to $2, this is most likely the support that is going to hold us. But it might not. It really depends on the market sentiment at that point. It depends on how we are going to break. If we are going to break this moving average, is it going to be a impulsive way on the downside, like a strong wave on the downside, or is it going to be just a consolidation and minor, breakdowns and, taking a long time and everything? We'll see how it goes. It's too early right now. The daily showing us oversold stochastic RSI, meaning that maybe we're going to see a bit of a recovery here. And if I see that, this would give me a nice window to actually unload some of my holdings, because I do have a heavy bag of LIDO. I told you LIDO is one of my biggest holdings right now in terms of altcoins. If we look on the weekly is not looking good. We have this bearish cross on the stochastic RSI that we printed very recently, and we are just now starting to go on the downside. So a lot of room to go on the downside before we complete this correction here, this corrective move. We don't have enough of a price history to actually see the 50th moving average on the weekly, so I can't really use it as a measure. But breaking below the 9th, which right now is holding us, breaking below this, giving up this support is definitely going to be bearish, and I will be exiting. Alright, well, this is everything for today's episode, guys. I'm sorry I did it so late in the evening, but I'm still a tourist, right? I'm still doing my holidays here in Vietnam, and today I was going around taking a ton of pictures. I might actually post some on social media. I did some really amazing pictures here in Da Nang. So much to see, such a beautiful scenery and everything. In fact, I will superimpose some of those pictures right now here as I'm speaking, so you're probably seeing these images on the screen right now. I mean, I did so many that, to show you more of this, I will have to make that video maybe an hour or something, which I'm not going to do. Anyways, this is everything for today's update. I wanted to make this quick update on the charts because I need you to be prepared for what might be coming. That bull rally that we had, that bullish sentiment that we were building over the last month might be exhausted at this point. It looks to me that the Silvergate collapse is really taking the market down, and again, people are scared. If there's anything that you know that I don't, let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure that you leave a like, show your appreciation for this content. I create it completely for free. Also, my newsletter is for free. If you're not subscribed, I send my newsletter at the beginning of this month. Just a week ago, so if you haven't received it, then you're not subscribed. The link is in the description below. And also, while you're there, make sure that you check out the other links of all of the crypto services that I'm personally using and that I recommend to you. And as promised, I'm coming to you with a review of a brand new hardware wallet that I just received. One Key, it's called. I also interviewed a key member of their team because right now it's all about security. Exchanges are collapsing, and all kinds of platforms and lending platforms, even DeFi platforms are getting hacked all the time. So we have to be extra careful about protecting our assets, and having a hardware wallet is the best way, and not just one, having a few of them, because if you keep all of your coins in one place, that's not safe. Anything could happen. In fact, my Keep Key, one of the hardware wallets that I'm using, and I'm using 5 of them, my Keep Key malfunctioned when I was upgrading the firmware. something happened and I can't actually get out of that bootloader mode. And even though I spoke to the customer service of KeepKey, they gave me a very generic response, so they're not really solving my issue. So I'm now replacing my KeepKey with a new hardware wallet, OneKey. So that's why I will be doing a review, and I'll be doing a step-by-step tutorial as well. Make sure that you catch that one. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting a new episode. And also, while you're here, just pick another one of my videos and I'm gonna see you in the next one.